politics. Let me now go across to our guests who are joining us here on the show. Asif Bamla, BJP spokesperson, and Tehseen Poonawala, political activist, analyst, and one pro the Congress party. Asif Bamla, coming first to you. AIMIM chief Asadduddin Owaisi has called it a classic example of dog whistle politics, creating a fear of the Muslim population increasing, which is factually incorrect. What would you say about an organization which is the ideological fountainhead of your party making factually incorrect statements?
I would like to submit here, firstly, happy Dussehra and Vijay Dashmi to everybody here.
To you too, yes.
But I would like to submit that this is not just one issue which Mohan Bhagwat ji, exhibited in his speech. He has said many issues. He's talked about the women empowerment. Of course, he did talk about a comprehensive population policy, which in larger interests of the development of the country is important. He also highlighted of the fear-mongering by some of the so-called pseudo-secularists who have been claiming to be, the custodians of minorities and who have done nothing for minorities. Over about a period of, you can say, nearly more than 40-50 years, Muslims have been, the conditions is the same when it goes to unemployment, whether it goes to education, but they've just been doing lip service and misguiding the community at large. So that is something which he's highlighted, and he's also highlighted that the minorities should not be a party and part of this scare and fear mongering, because even in the past, there has been nothing.
But Asif Bamla, this fear is being created against the community, right?
No, there's nothing like that. You've been seeing BJP in power. You see the number of riots that have been created, the number of inconsistencies created within the time and the regime of our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. If you see the number and the records of the riots and of the religious uncertainty that has happened before the Modi regime and after, you will get the facts and figures. Now, I don't have the analysis of the same, because this debate is not to highlight that. As far as Asadduddin Owaisi is concerned, I am sure my friend Tehseen also will not agree with so many of the issues by him. I'm sure as a rational individual, he shares the same mindset of and about Asadduddin Owaisi.
The question is not what Asadduddin Owaisi has said. He has responded to what Mohan Bhagwat has said. I'm saying that when this constant myth about one population or one community overtaking the population of another community is concerned, in that context, Asadduddin Owaisi has called it dog whistle politics. Tehseen Poonawala, would you say that this indeed is dog whistle politics?
Good evening, Maha. Happy Dussehra and happy Vijay Dashmi to you, to your family members, to all your viewers, and to my dear friend Asif and his family members. I completely agree with you, Maha, and I completely concur with what you says. Don't believe me, Asif bhai. Don't believe Maha. You believe your own law ministry that submitted the report to the union government, and your own union government that submitted it to the Honorable Supreme Court. The total fertility rate of Muslims is on par with Hindus now. In fact, there are more Hindus, fellow citizens, who have, and polygamous relationships than Muslims. So the fact is, there is no chance of Muslim population ever overtaking the Hindu population. No chance. So why is a myth being created, a fake narrative, a false narrative, either by the RSS or any other political organization, in this case, the Bharatiya Janata Party? Point number two, since Mr. Mohan Bhagwat continuously speaks about trying to bring about harmony, or that was the theme of his speech today, why doesn't, and Asif bhai just answered this question very specifically, why hasn't the RSS ever appointed an SC or an OBC as a chief? Why is a woman never been the president of the Bharatiya Janata Party? Because the band of boys will never allow a woman to be the president of the Bharatiya Janata Party, or an SC or an OBC to ever be the RSS chief. Why is it? If we are talking about inclusivity and we all believe all Indians are one, why can't an SC or OBC be an RSS chief, Asif bhai?
There was a woman chief guest today. Asif Bamla, but
How does that
respond to
matter?
that question.
How does a woman chief guest matter? I'm talking about a post in the Bharatiya Janata Party, and I'm talking the head of the RSS has never been an OBC.
Correct, Tehseen. So let Asif answer that question.
Firstly, let me submit that I'm not a spokesperson of the RSS. RSS is definitely it of course complements and correlates work constantly with the BJP, but I represent the BJP, so my views will highly stick around with my party as far as my party is concerned, with regards to women empowerment and with regards to representation to women in the government. I'm sure there's sufficient representation, so that sets the narrative right. Now, as far as the population narrative is concerned, I don't know. We as educated Muslims, I mean, I'm a Muslim. My friend Tehseen is a Muslim. We often meet, and when we do discuss, we're concerned about the community of the growing population. Why? Because that correlates with the employment. Are we having देखिए जाहिरात जो है जिसकी हम हमेशा चर्चा करते हैं, जिसके लिए हम फिक्रमंद रहते हैं, क्योंकि स्वयं हम भी एक मुसलमान हैं, तो वो हमारी भी एक जिम्मेवारी बनती है कि क्या हमारी कौम में एक घर में यदि you see, if there's a population control policy where the families, you see, we are educated families. You see, my family or your family, it doesn't matter at large, you see, because we all come from a different school of thought. But when it comes to the people down there where there is illiteracy, where the community needs to be educated at large, a sustained policy of in terms of population, a proper population policy, or rather comprehensive population policy, I think in larger interest for even I'm not saying alone in the interest of the country. The country's interest is certainly important, but at the same time, the interest of the community is very important, and I'm sure Tehseen will endorse this aspect of mine. We may be having different ideologies.
Asif Bamla, you've made an important point about the population putting a stress on the resources in the country, but that is not the doing of the communities, the minority communities in the country, as has been made out. That is the point over here, because, and I will quote statistics from the former CEC S.Y. Qureshi's book, which says, between 1951 and 2011 census, a net increase in the Muslim population was 13.6 crores and of Hindus was 67.6 crore. And the gap between the Hindu and the Muslim population has increased from 26.7 crores to 80.8 crores. How would you respond to these statistics? Because they clearly show nowhere is this population overtaking the majority population as is being made out.
You see, here it's not the question of who's overtaking whom. You see, the need here, which is why the opening statement, as I said, I am not here to support, because I'm not a spokesperson of the RSS. That's something for them to certify or clarify. But you see, the opening statement was with the idea to give a backdrop to the minority community that guys, don't take us wrong. Don't be a prey and a party to the wrong narratives that that we are anti-Muslims or the organized Hindus are ensuring that minorities are in danger. Against that, this is the issue which set a narrative in larger interest of a proper comprehensive population policy. You see the financial status and statistics of Muslims, if you compare with a non-Muslim, you see that also is an aspect which needs to be deeply considered.
And on that point, let me go across to Tehseen Poonawala. Tehseen, he's raised an important point about the progress of a particular community. In the case of, for instance, the Muslim community or other minority communities, the Satcha report very clearly pointed out, and at that time, the BJP was not even in power. A large chunk, of the time when the Satcha committee report, in fact, analyzed, the Congress was in power, and it appeared that not much had been done for these communities.
So let's too many issues have got mixed up. So let's take each one of them. Firstly, I'm extremely glad on this channel, Asif Bhai, as the BJP spokesperson, absolutely accepts that the total fertility rate of Muslims has actually fallen, and there is no way Muslims can overtake Hindus. So now that the BJP is officially established that. I hope all the lies, rumor mongering, and the WhatsApp university falsehood that goes around stops. Now let's come to the more pertinent point, a very valid point my dear friend Asif Bhai is raising. He talks about educational empowerment for Muslims or any minority or for all Indians, as is rightly said. And I completely support him on this point. Except that Asif Bhai, in the city and the state that you're in right now, the great state of Maharashtra, when you had educational representation for Muslims, something the courts upheld and said must be done. It's also spoken about in the Satchar Committee report. The BJP government of Devendra Fadnavis took it away. Why? Why would you take away educational representation given to Muslims when you as a BJP spokesperson say that the Muslim community is behind? So shouldn't you concentrate on giving them the representation which this great state gave and Devendra Fadnavis took back despite the courts upholding it and saying it's constitutionally valid? Second point, a very important point. The BJP again says we are all for harmony, and this was what this RSS rally was all about. When Kanhaiya Lal was murdered by terrorists who seem to have some association with the BJP, let the truth come out, every single Muslim organization of consequences, every single liberal, every single Muslim, every single Indian condemned it. Everyone, without exception. They said you cannot do it. But why did the BJP...
I'd request you to quickly make your point because we are running out of time. Yes.
Yeah. But why does the BJP garland those who are convicted of lynching? Why did the BJP get Bilkis Banu's rapists out and garland them? Till Asif, I am saying Kanhaiya Lal's murder was wrong. Will Asif Bhai say Bilkis Banu being released is wrong?
Right. We'll leave it at that because we've completely run out of time. But thanks to both of you, Asif Bamla and Tehseen Poonawala, for joining us here on this discussion, a debate that has been done earlier and probably will continue considering such statements coming through.